We have the student athletes from Ole Miss. We'll introduce the players: Terrence Davis, Devontae Schuler, and Brian Tyree. We open for questions here in the middle.
Devontae, when you saw the draw and you saw Columbia pop up next to your team's name, just what was your first thought?
It was just an opportunity for me to come back home and play in front of my family and friends, and also for me to have a better chance for me to play better in my home state.
In the aisle in the middle.
Lou Bajek from the State Paper. Devontae, what's it been like? Talked to your sister earlier this week, ticket requests and everything. So how many people you expect to have here? And just last time you guys were here last month, it didn't go so well. What needs to happen to have a better performance?
I have plenty of family and friends coming, of course. This is like right in the middle of where I'm from, and for the most part, for me just to come back and stay focused and just for me to come back and get the win, that's the main part of me coming back home and playing in this, and yeah, that's really it.
In the back on the aisle.
I'll continue the line of questions for Devontae. Mike Barber, Richmond Times-Dispatch. I believe you were teammates in high school with Braxton Key from Virginia.
Right, I am.
What do you remember about him, and have you guys maintained a friendship?
Oh, definitely. I won a national championship with him, so always stay in contact. And Braxton is not even just a friend of mine on the court. Off the court, he's a great person, and we always stay in contact. He always in contact with my sister, so it's a long relationship.
Here on the front.
Brian and Terrence and Devontae, if you'd like, you could chip in on this too, man. Experience is always considered a big thing in the NCAA tournament. Are you guys concerned that you don't have any? Brian, if you would start.
Let's start with Brian and then come down the road this way.
I do feel like experience is a big thing in anything you do. We're experienced guards, and we played a lot of college basketball, but this is our first time in the tournament, so this will be a new experience for us. But on the other side of it, we'll be just as excited as any other person would be for this major opportunity.
Definitely for me too. We definitely gotta have a great experience. Of course, I ain't never been here, but us going against a D1 college basketball team, we're gonna treat it as if it was an SEC regular season game. So.
And just to go along with them, you know, we three guys who've been playing with each other, you know, for quite some time now, and you know, we have no experience in it in the NCAA tournament, but we do have experience together with this team, so I think we'll be okay along the road.
Here in the front on the aisle.
TD, this is what you came back for to play in this, so now that you're here, what's the feeling for you?
It's unbelievable, you know, get to share this moment, you know, with some of the guys that you know, you've been around forever, and just to be here, man, it's just special. But you know, we're not satisfied.
Front row.
Hey, Terrence, the last couple of games you've had a hard time, you know, scoring, getting buckets. Have you kind of flushed that, or do you feel like you got to see a couple go in to get some confidence going tomorrow?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's once the game over, that's flush. I mean, you know, the great thing about it, you have another opportunity. We have another opportunity to play, you know, tomorrow, and that's just a good thing about it.
Stay on the front on the right side.
Bree, from your scout of Oklahoma so far, what stands out about what they do well, and what kind of challenges might there be in this game?
They shoot the ball really well. They also exploit mismatches very well. All their players from 1 to 5 can bring down the ball or dribble the ball, and they do a lot of isolation. So we just need to guard the ball, stay in front of our men, stay second in the air, be physical with them, and rebound the ball, and I think we should be fine.
Bree, a big reason why y'all were able to do the turnarounds because Devontae got moved to point guard and you got to be moved off the ball. What kind of growth have you seen in Devontae when he's been able to do at that position specifically?
Tremendous growth. I mean, even from his freshman year, when I was playing point and he was playing the 2 guard, he grew tremendously in that year. But just from his freshman year into a sophomore year, just his leadership qualities has grown tremendously. handling the ball, making better decisions, getting the team in the right sets, and I don't want to say taking a back seat to me and TD, but not taking as many shots, and not even getting the spotlight at all times. But he just keeps it going, and he's a major part of our team. And without him, this train doesn't go. So, I mean, his growth has been tremendous, and he's still not done yet, and we got a long way to go as a team.
Brian, along those lines.
It's just a reminder if we could remember to introduce ourselves and say our affiliation.
Brian Rippey, Super Talk Mississippi. Brian, along those lines, what specifically has that freed you up to do on the wing as opposed to you having to play point last year?
It's freed me up to just be a lot more aggressive offensively. That's what Coach wants me to do, assert myself on the offensive end and, take better shots than I did last year. And Devontae's helped me do that a lot this year. And, just get me open because he's such, an aggressive guard. A lot of help will come and kick-outs to me and TD on the wings, and then it's time for, us to make a play and, try and get the ball in the basket.
Second row in the aisle.
Parrish Alford, Daily Journal in Tupelo, Mississippi. Devontae, as a young person, how many times did you come to this gym as a fan, and did you play here?
I didn't really come to many games, but my sister was a big fan of the basketball team, my brother, so they always tell me, like, coming to USC, getting a good feel for how Coach Frank Martin is, like just for me being around and the environment, for me to get a feel of a college basketball stadium. It's been great.
Second row in the aisle.
Ben Garrett, 247 Sports. TD, Devontae is a guy that you took under your wing really, really early in his career. Was important in getting him here, actually. What have you seen from him and how far he's coming as a player and just all around in terms of his game?
Well, like Brian touched on, Devontae, just a tremendous player, to be a freshman and play key roles last year, then to play a whole nother role, point guard, never played, point at that position ever. It just tells you, how good of a player he are, just to play a whole different position and be good at it and, get his team to, March Madness. It just tells you everything.
Any more questions for the student athletes? Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
We'll go ahead and get started with Ole Miss head coach Kermit Davis and SID Adam Kuffner. Coach, if you just make a brief opening statement, and then we'll open for the questions.
Yeah, first of all, probably been one of the most rewarding years in my 37 years of coaching to come to Ole Miss, which is back home for me in my state, and to be involved and connect with the Ole Miss spirit, and to take a team that finished last, picked last, and for the improvement that they've made. I have so much respect for our players, and then to see the connection with our fan base that, we probably grew, I think, over nearly 25% increase in attendance in SEC games, which was the most of any league team. So that part has been great. And then to play a really good Oklahoma team in the NCAA tournament, known Lon for a long time, he's had so much success in this tournament. He's got another really, really good team, and I think it'll be one of those really, really good 8-9 matchups.
We'll start here, second row in the middle.
Ben Garrett, the Ole Miss Spirit. Kermit, Devontae Shuler's move to point guard was so big as far as the turnaround is concerned. How far has he come at that position specifically? What have you seen as far as what he's been able to do, ball handling, all that stuff?
Yeah, he's probably been the key to our team, Ben. And, we got nicked up for about 5 or 6 games after the Mississippi State game, and he's now back healthy. He didn't even play point guard at Oak Hill for Steve Smith. He kind of played off the ball all the time and played off the ball as a freshman. But we really met in the spring, and I really think he understood. The biggest thing he's done, he's valued the ball. He's a tough, competitive guard on the ball defending, and he really has. Brian and TD's had these great all-SEC years, but Devontae Shuler's probably been maybe our most valuable player on the floor.
Coach, here on the left.
Kermit, Jeffrey Collins with the Associated Press. You mentioned this team was finished last, picked last. What point did you realize that they had the potential to be an NCAA tournament team and exceed all these expectations?
We took a trip to Canada that really helped us. I've said it before, we left a lot of bad basketball in Canada, but it gave us really a time to get some extra practices. An NCAA tournament team, probably when we beat Auburn at home, and they were ranked, and then like 3 days later we go to Mississippi State and beat another ranked team. So probably at that particular time, then we got ranked ourselves, that you kind of started thinking that maybe we do have a chance, didn't talk about it to our team, to play in the NCAA tournament, be a postseason team.
Coach on the right, second row.
Joe Masada from the Oklahoman. Kermit, you and Lon Kruger are two of the most experienced coaches in the field. Do you have any familiarity with him or cross path with him at any stops?
I've just known Lon forever. This is the first time that I've ever coached against Lon's team in any game. But I guess I've just always admired Lon and followed him when he was at Florida and Illinois and obviously at Oklahoma. We both had a same assistant, a guy named Greg Grenzing that I hired when Lon was he was at Vegas fixing to go to Oklahoma, and Greg was a great assistant of mine at Middle Tennessee. But, like I said, just a coach and just one of his peers. I've just admired him for what he's done, and the main thing is about how he's gone about his business for so long in his career.
Coach, front row.
Brian Rippey, Super Talk Mississippi. Kermit, it seems like Bruce has really put it together in the last month. How much of what you've gotten from him has kind of changed the dynamic of y'all's team?
Yeah, he's a critical matchup tomorrow, he and Don both. I mean, obviously, number one, Doolittle is an undersized, he's really a 4-man, that he plays the 5, and so he gets good matchups. And so, can you guard Doolittle? Can Bruce and Dom, especially Bruce, can he guard him at 17 feet isolations that line puts him in? So that's a big critical key. And then, can we throw the ball to Bruce, pick up fouls, and make guys guard him around the goal? We know we can pick and pop and shoot balls. So yeah, if us going forward, if we're going to have some success in this tournament, he's going to be a big part of it.
Coach, on the outside and in the back.
Courtney Grabb, WCBI. Kermit, you've had so many close games just go down right to the wire. Is that something you think you've talked to your team a lot about, finishing at the end of it, but do you think that's kind of fueling them as you head into a game with such pomp and circumstance?
Yeah, we have. We played a hard, late year schedule. I mean, we're up 1, and Grant Williams makes a shot with 4 seconds to go to beat us at home. 1 possession game with Kentucky. We go to Arkansas and have the ball at 1, and they hit a last-second shot to beat us. And then obviously Alabama, you're up 16 and get beat at the end. So it's a concern, But I think some of those games we've been really, really competitive and have played really good in a lot of parts of those games. That's just something we'll have to draw on. But you're right. We've got to do a better job of closing games out, and just making basketball plays at the end of those clocks.
Coach on the right, second row.
Nick Suss, Clarion Ledger. Kermit, coming off that Alabama game, how has been the focus and the recovery and practice after a loss like that?
Yeah, we got after him pretty good just when we got back. I mean, the next day on Friday, we watched the tape before we left from Nashville to go back to Oxford. And then on Saturday and Sunday, we had 2 really physical practices, not very long, hour and 20 minutes, but got back to trying to rebound and defend. And then as the week, we got selected to come to the regional, then we've kind of backed off. But it's been really good. I wanted to get that out of our system, and back playing. We need to go up and down some. And so, I think our attitude and energy level has been really good this week.
Staying on the right side, Coach.
Joe Masato again from the Oklahoman. Kermit, this seems to be like a pretty good guard-oriented matchup, especially with your group. But what do you see on the other side, specifically with Jamal Bieniemy, their freshman point guard?
I just told Lon, I saw him in the hall, and I said, God, Lon, I've watched you probably 10 games ago and watched him till now, and he's got to be one of the most improved players in the Big 12. I mean, you can tell he's just kind of grown up as a freshman. He's got great size, great pace. The biggest thing, he just takes care of the ball. Then obviously James is a real physical, kind of a celebrated guy that's played in the Final Four. And, I like him. And there are other guys who are real physical, driving guards. So you're right. I mean, our 3 guards are going to play really well tomorrow.
Right here in the middle, Coach.
Parrish Alford, Daily Journal, and Tupelo. Kermit, a lot is made of experience in this tournament, and you have some, but your players don't. How do you think that factors in?
Well, I think because you got Oklahoma, you got some guys that played in the Final Four. You got a team that played in it last year, in the tournament. So, but I just think that when you play in leagues like ours, when you played in those kind of games every night, I told our team yesterday, I said, guys, you've been tested in every way possible a college team can get tested by what you went through in an 18-game schedule in this league. And so, they've been in these big environments and big arenas. And do you have a little nerves, probably a little jitters your first when the ball's tipped and you get it going? Sure. But the biggest thing is just stay true to yourself. Do what you do. Don't try to go out of character, and just be who we are, the best version of our team, and hopefully they'll do that tomorrow.
Coach, back right corner.
Courtney Rabb, WCBI again. Transition defense has been something that your guys normally do very well. How important is transition D just going to be in a team against Oklahoma?
Yeah, anytime you play Oklahoma or Lon's team, transition defense is always big. I mean, because Doolittle can get the ball off the defensive boards and bring it up as a center, a so-called center. So it makes you adjusting, getting back defensively, some different matchups, And so, and obviously the way they shoot the ball in the perimeter, they get the stretch 4 is so good. I mean, he's as good a stretch 4 shooter as it is in college basketball. So you're right. That's something that's been kind of a staple of ours for many, many years wherever we've coached. And it's got to be true to form tomorrow.
Coach on the left.
Kermit, Jeffrey Collins with the Associated Press again. How helpful has it been to have I guess as of tomorrow, the 8 days off? I mean, did your team kind of need that rest after a pretty much of a grind?
I think mentally, nobody wants to get beat in their conference tournament by any means. Obviously, we're disappointed, but, probably in the end, I think mentally it's been really good for our team. A team that, like I said, went to Canada, had extra days of practice. So we have really stuck to about an hour and 10 minutes this week at most. And so I do think I saw it with Brian and even TD the last couple of days, a little fresher legs and fresh minds. I hope it does help.
In the front.
Parrish Alford, Daily Journal, and Tupelo. Kermit said, Lon said he had an awareness of you. Have you guys coached against one another?
No, we have not. We've just known each other for a long time, and just through the, recruiting and different basketball as you cross paths. And like I said, it's just been a great respect on my part for Lon.
What would you say is kind of a staple, I guess, of his teams and how you have seen them through the years, I guess?
He's always, they've guarded at a high level, and I've just, the way the ball moves offensively, I think he's just always had great spacing. He was one of really the first guys. I mean, I know the dribble drive, the spacing and driving balls, and I just think their best players shoot it. He puts them in spots to catch and score, and he's done that his whole career.
Anything else for Coach?
All right. Thanks, guys. Thank you.